Hey everyone, welcome to Kempner Canucks. Today we are talking about the all-time greatest Canuck lines. Yeah, you heard it right. It's going to be awesome. Let's hit the intro and then get into it. It's going to be a great video. I'm so excited that you're here and that we're going to be talking about the all-time greatest Canuck lines. I've orchestrated these lines, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to enjoy it. The reason I made this video, as I asked some of my followers, what kind of videos do you want? And someone said, I want the all-time Canuck lines. Let's go. This is going to be so fun. I don't know if you know, but I've made top 10 Canuck forwards of all time, defense of all time, the top 10 goalies. You haven't checked that out, go back into my videos, check it out. And that's from last season. Some of the rankings may have changed a little bit, but they're pretty similar to what I'd have. I'll do a 2.0 version probably next off season. But man, I want to dive into the all-time lineup. Now, who would you have on the top line? I think it's pretty easy. The forward lines were a little bit easier than the defensive lines, I'll admit, but you know, it's going to be so much fun. It was a lot of fun making it. I hope that you really enjoy this video. Also, if you like Canucks content that is passionate, realistic, and honest, please hit that like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Trying to get to 1,500 subscribers. That would be great. I love those that are following the channel and those that are coming to the live streams. It's been so awesome to connect with Canucks fans, and there's so many faithful Canucks fans. Okay, let's dive into this. Oh, I also forgot to mention, follow me on Kempner Canucks on Instagram, on X, which is Twitter, YouTube, and of course Facebook. I post a whole bunch of different things on there. But yeah, hope that you're doing well, everyone. This is the summer. This is the time where you do fun videos like this. So let's dive in to line one. Again, probably the easiest one out of all of them. You got to go with the Twins and Bure. The Twins and Bure. We're talking about like the greatest Canuck forwards of all time. Definitely on this lineup. Pavel Bure was the Russian Rocket who, come on, let's just be honest. He was a sniper. His skating ability, his shot, the power of his shot, just everything about him was electric, dynamic, my favorite player of all time. And then everyone kind of slighted on the Twins for years and years. Canuck fans even wanted us to always trade the Twins. We're never going to win a cup without the Twins. Oh, we should have, but we couldn't get past Boston in Game 7. I don't think it's because of the Twins. It was the Twins' fault in that one. I think it was the injuries that got to us, and that's why. But, I mean, you're talking about MVP caliber players in the Twins. How did Brian Burke get both of them in the same draft class? You know, as number 2 and number 3 is insane. Both of them have the highest points in Canucks history with over 1,000 Canucks points. Both played over 1,300 games. These two plus Bure, that is the no-brainer line one. That I think I would put up this line against any line in the NHL. I guess Mario Lemieux and Yager, and who would you put on the left side? Probably Kevin Stevens. That might be a great one for Pittsburgh. I mean, you'd probably have to. Okay, and here's the other thing. I put all the centers in the center, the right wings in the right wing, and the left wings in the left wing. So made sure, like, someone you're like, how can you do that? That person's out of the line. I tried my best to keep it right wings, left wings, and centers in the right positions. Okay, so I mean, what lines would be better out there than that? I mean, you can't do Crosby on the left-hand wing. Maybe you could do Malkin, Lemieux, and Yager might be. I mean, is Malkin's a center, right? Is he a left winger? I don't even think so. But I think he played left wing with Crosby. So technically, maybe that one would be better. But I mean, this line could go up against the best and really hold its own. Really could hold its own. I don't know if it's the top of the league, but it's got to be top 5. This would be a dynamite, absolute dynamite lineup. I know I'm a little biased as a Canucks fan. Okay, I'm going to move over this way because I want to go to line 2. Okay, line 2. And this one would be fantastic as well. You got the best Canuck of all time, captain of all time, Trevor Linden. Captain Canuck is what they call him. And yeah, he gave it his all, everyone. He gave it his all. Absolutely loved watching him play. Way better than I thought he was going to turn out to be. I mean, and as a person, I've met Trevor Linden live. He is truly a very kind individual, and everyone says that in the community, and so that's pretty cool. Naslund, I've got to have the best wrist shot in our franchise history. Loved watching Marcus Naslund. Phenomenal player, absolutely phenomenal player. Arguably, it could have been an argument between him and Bure on that top line, but I'm giving Bure the nod there because I just think Bure is a little bit more dynamic. But Naslund was fantastic, everyone. Absolutely fantastic player. And then Todd Bertuzzi is the greatest power forward our franchise has ever seen. Just loved watching him play. I mean, this second line would be awesome to watch, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it have been all of them in their primes? Deadly, absolutely deadly. Hitting, talent, all that kind of stuff. Okay, let's go to number 3. The third line is a rose between two thorns. No, I'm joking. Who doesn't like JT Miller? Listen, JT Miller doesn't get the respect yet. And he's saying, oh, you can't pick a current player. Absolutely, I can. JT Miller scored 99 points for us, and then it was an 82-point season, and then he had a 103-point season. I mean, when his contract's done, he is going to be definitely considered one of the greats. And if you think about it, JT Miller's the third line center. Like, that's amazing. Now, some of you are going to be like, hey, that means you got so-and-so. Who's the other fourth line center? There's 2 other centers in Vancouver Canucks history that are absolutely dynamic. But let's go to Tony Tanti for a moment, okay? Tony Tanti, let's just see, how can I do this here? Regular season all-time records, forwards. Yeah, I just want the forwards. So, but just regular season, it's just amazing. So Tony Tanti, if you look at these different stats, he had 40 goals, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 times. I think it was 45, 42. And it was absolutely stellar. Absolutely stellar. All-time. I don't want all-time records. I want season records. That's what I want. And so Tony Tanti, if you go to goals, he like Bure had the most goals. Do you know that Pavel Bure scored 60 goals twice for Vancouver? And then he scored 51. So he has number 1, number 2, and number 3 spot. But Tony Tanti is number 7 with 45. He had 41. Then at 13, he had 40. So, like, people don't, and he had a 39 one year, actually 39 2 years. So Tony Tanti is a sniper of snipers. And then a lot of people don't understand how good Gradin was, could do it all, but very, very good player. Let's see where Gradin is at on this list. He's for best seasons ever, he was number 18 and 19 with 86 points. I was really impressed with him. So yeah, there is your third line, everyone. I love this line. I know that there's some argument there that could be made for sure, But let's look at our fourth line, which is stacked. You got Mogilny, who had 107 points in 1995-96 with Vancouver. 55 goals, everyone. He was third on the list for the most goals and Canuck history in a season. 107 points. So he should be in the Hall of Fame. Do not know why he's not, but he is not at the moment. So Mogilny on the left hand, as he's a left winger, and then Ryan Kessler. I mean, what better fourth line center would you want than Ryan Kessler? The guy had grit, had scoring. He was phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal, everyone. And so if you look at him, you know, I mean, what else? This line would be deadly. And then Stammer, I guess we should say, Stan Smeel, the steamer. Man, he was fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Played a great game. Plus, I mean, you can't deny his contribution to this team far into the seasons after. And so that is my fourth line. I love this fourth line. Gritty, talented, special. Love it. Okay, I there were so many people I had to take off, and I had a really hard time. Like, you had Bo Horvat and others that were, have had good careers in Vancouver. You've got, like, if you look at let's just see, Patrick Sundstrom. You had Cliff Ronning. That was hard to keep off this list. Darcy Rhoda. Petro Strico, Jeff Courtnall Adams. Okay, it's easier to keep those guys off the list, but compared to these other guys. But so here, I did an extras. I did like a reserves kind of line, and this is what I have. Gino Ojic, baby. I love that guy. Think about him being out there. It's like someone gets hurt. Tony Tanti goes down and Gino is playing with JT Miller. Oh my goodness. That'd be fun. I just, he's a fan favorite. Everyone loves Gino, and too bad he's gone. But then I put Pettersson there. And the reason why I put Pettersson there is I just really don't want to disrespect, even though I know there's a little bit of bad taste in people's mouth, but Pettersson's 8th in Canucks history for points in a season with 102. Okay. 39 goals, 63 points or assists, equaling 102. And then he also had followed it up with an 89-point season. I just think you got to have Pettersson on this list. We anticipate that he's going to have a great career. He's going to move up this lineup, but I mean, this is hard. Who do you put him in front of? You put him in front of Kessler? Do you put him in front of JT Miller? Do you put him in front of Linden or Hendrik Sedin? Like those guys, it's hard to get him up there right now. And then, of course, Brock Besser, as we just loved his 40-goal season. I don't know. It's just fun to have him on there, fan favorite. I mean, maybe I should put Patrick Sundstrom there, but I don't even know. Is he he's a left winger, so I couldn't even put him. I could have put him instead of Gino. So that one was more for, this one's just more for fun. But okay, let's dive into the defenseman. I found this one easy on the left-handed shot defenseman, but difficult on the right-handed shot defenseman. Okay, I can move back into the middle for these. So obviously, number one is Quinn Hughes. I don't understand how people get upset when I put current players. I'm telling you, there's been no defenseman in Vancouver Canucks history as talented as Quinn Hughes. He is the best. If you watch my top 10 defensemen of all time for Canucks history, I have Quinn Hughes as number one, and that was before he won the big award of the Norris Trophy, everyone. That was before. So Quinn Hughes is right there. He's my number one guy. He's the best left-handed shot defenseman we've ever had. Then we have Doug Lidster. The right-handed shot defenseman, really hard. I think Hronek, if he continues to have great career, could move up this list. I do not have him on this pairing, these pairings yet, but could be sooner than later. Let's go into the second line pairing D, and that is Ed Jovanovski. Who doesn't like Jovo Cop? He could do everything. He could hit, he could score, he could lead, he could be gritty, he could clear people out of the net. Just absolutely love Jovo. Yeah, I know there's some knocks on him that he had some. He gave away the puck too much, but I mean, he was an offensive defenseman. But we love. If you don't like Jovo, you probably don't like Canucks hockey. Just saying. And then of course the other one was Kevin Bieksa. He is a gem. Now you might sit in there. He doesn't have the points and those. He had everything else. He had everything that you wanted in a defenseman for grit, for tenacity, for scoring big goals. That goal he scored in the playoffs against the San Jose Sharks was insane on the cup run, eliminating the Sharks. That was, I mean, the Sharks were good back in those. Joe Thornton and all the boys, and I think it was Patrick Marleau was there. It was a stacked team, and that was a big accomplishment to get us over the hump. And we just love his personality. We love his joking. We are big fans. Kevin Bieksa, big fan. Right-handed shot defenseman. I think he's the second best one that we had. Man, imagine this line, how that would be tough to play against. And then the third line would be on left-hand side, Matthias Ohlund. Man, he was good. Just solid defenseman, one of the best defensemen we've ever seen. And then I paired him up on the right-hand side with Sammy Salo, and man, his shot was amazing. The amount of times he scored on the power play, and a lot of you will think about his end and how slow he was. Well, man, he literally had gotten hit in the nuts, and he lost a testicle playing hockey, and still went out and played. I don't know about you, but if that happened to me, I would not be playing hockey. I'd be calling it a career and saying, I'm good. So Salo's got to be in there, right? He's got to be. I know a lot of people, you're probably a little surprised to have Salo, but think about all the things that he did for Vancouver, how good he was. And he's got a good size and grit as well. Like him a lot. I mean, you know me, for the extras, you know me. I want to put Zadorov on this list, but I just can't. I mean, he only played for a short little period of time, but he's the kind of Canucks player I love watching, but can't have him there. My extras are, and a lot of you are going to be surprised that I didn't put Edler in this list. It's just that Edler played the most games as a defenseman. He has and hence he has, I believe, the most all-time points, but not like the most points in a season. So if I go to season all-time records for defense, Edler has 409. Listen, Quinn Hughes this season is going to break that record, but 925 games has 409 points. So he gets an honorable mention. There were a lot of times where people were blaming Edler for a lot of the mistakes that were going on in Vancouver. But he turned it around, and he had a long, great career with the Canucks, and I love that. Like 925 games. The next highest defenseman to play games there was Harold Sneps, who I have right here, who had 781 games, and Matthias Ohlund had 770. So, I mean, a shout out to Dennis Kearns there, Garth Butcher, some people that should be on there. But then again, I had Jyrki Lumme, played 579 games for Vancouver, scored 83 goals in the Canucks career. Lumme was illuminating. He was lights out some nights, and just really enjoyed him. So those are my extras for the defensemen. Who did I miss? Let me know. And then let's go to goaltending. Now this one's gonna be the hard one to kind of. Where can I go here? Okay. So these are the 4 goaltenders that I'm just going to have here. And I know that like one of these guys, you're like, why is he on the list? 3 of these guys have brought us to a Stanley Cup. Okay. All 3 of them have lost in the Stanley Cup finals, but they got us there. So my number 1 obviously is Roberto Luongo. He gets a lot of blame, but boy, I loved watching him play. He had some tough games for sure, but people don't talk enough that he had 2 shutouts against Boston in 2011. If it wasn't for him, we would not have been in that series. And so Luongo was fantastic. He's my favorite Canuck of all time, but just like literally 1A, 1B, it's got to be Kurt McLean. Love Kurt McLean. I got to meet Kurt live this last year at training camp in Victoria. It was really cool. Got a picture with him. And I mean, if you want to argue that Kirk McLean's number one, go for it, because I think there's a case to be made that Kirk McLean could be number one as well. Both number one as you know, on the Canucks jerseys there, as you can see. But those are my 1A and 1B. Love Kirk McLean. The big save against Calgary, the stacking the pads, some of the great things that if it wasn't for him, there's no way we would have been competing with the New York Rangers in the finals. But man, he was lights out. And we were just 1 goal away from tying it up, going to overtime in Game 7. Kirk McLean was one of the reasons why that game was close. And then, of course, we got to give it to King Richard. Richard Brodeur, 1982. This team had no business going to the finals. I just think we got to give props to that team, as a number of those guys are on this list today. But, man, what a great lineup, or a great achievement. Brodeur was spectacular. So absolutely love having him on this list. But I think Demko, when his career is all said and done in Vancouver, I have a feeling that he's going to win us a cup. He's going to win us a cup, people. So I've got to have him on this list as an honorable mention. But if he wins a cup, does he elevate in front of all 3 of these other ones? I would say yes. What he did in the bubble, just what he's a Vezina Trophy candidate. Thatcher Demko's awesome. I'm a huge fan. I think he's the difference maker. I think if we had him, we would have beat the Edmonton Oilers this year. We would have played Dallas. Who knows what would have happened? Maybe we would have won the cup this year. I don't know, everyone, but all I know is I think he's super talented. Anyways, what do you think? What do you agree with? What do you disagree with? Please post in the comments. And I so appreciate you being here. Hit the like and subscribe, because I'm making some crazy good content here, everyone. And of course, always hope that you have a fantastic rest of your summer. Can't wait for the season to start. It's coming soon. And yeah, let's keep cheering on our Canucks. Post in the comments what you thought was good, what you missed, which lines were your favorite. And yeah, it's all up for debate. Go for it. Have a great day, and go Canucks. Go! Don't wanna